Just ahead on CTV News, the government shutdown goes into week 3. Plus, things got heated as county residents demand to be heard during a data task force meeting over the weekend.
It is ultimately their obligation to transfer this information clearly and concisely to the people who do make the decisions.
And the Department of Public Works goes clean and green with Project Elevate. These stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening, this is CTV News for October 27th. I'm Michaela Newton.
And I'm Jonathan Hunter. Thanks for joining us. Now going to our top story. A Prince George's County firefighter is in custody for possessing and distributing child pornography. 35-year-old Joshua Edmund Murphy was arrested by Prince George's County Police and is facing 16 charges. Prince George's County State's Attorney Tara Jackson says this took place between September and October of this year. She added that he committed the crime in a number of places, including the firehouse. There are also a number of victims. He was recently promoted to lieutenant with the fire and EMS department.
These crimes, child pornography crimes, are troubling anyway. But when a person that holds the trust of our community is accused of such crimes, yeah, it's deeply disturbing.
Murphy has been placed on administrative leave. He has been with the department since 2018. He worked at Station 44 in Chilham. Because of the nature of the charges, the judge denied bond in the case.
And over 400 people attended the Qualified Data Center community meeting in Landover Saturday to make their voices heard.
CTV's Anaya Falcon was there and shares how the meeting derailed.
This meeting on Saturday was originally meant to get written feedback from community members on data centers being placed in Prince George's County. But when attendees felt they didn't really have a say in the matter, the meeting turned into an uproar. A plea that came after people felt their roundtable exercise to gather strategies and concerns and the marketing in the room sent a message that data centers are coming to Prince George's County, whether they like it or not.
They're trying to position it in a way where you walk in, the first thing you see is, these are the benefits of this. There are no benefits. We are not going to receive these imaginary benefits.
It really feels like a betrayal. You know, I don't blame the council people that are in office now. I don't know if these decisions were made prior to their tenureship, but as a community, we do things together.
Some community members asked for the opportunity to verbally address the data task force and county council members. They were denied, so community members took the opportunity by force.
I was making rounds at the breakout tables and seeing a general consensus that this feels like a waste of time for the people. We started a chant and everyone joined in. It's very clear that the vast majority of us are on one accord.
After a few minutes of chanting, county officials gave residents a minute apiece to make their voices heard.
It is a kick in the face for them to come into our neighborhoods, deplete and take all of our resources in exchange for not giving us anything but long-term health effects.
Other community members expressed over the microphone their concerns for higher utility bills as well. But some shared the benefits of data centers, to the tune of hundreds of boos across the sports and learning complex in Landover.
It would be very valuable, especially when we're getting ready to lose Northwest Stadium, getting ready to lose Six Flags. And why you think they have a deficit?
The chair of the county council and the co-chair for the data center task force says they are just trying to find a happy medium when coming up with the data center policy recommendations.
Perhaps the line in the sand for some of us is we're not going to put it in a residential neighborhood or in a commercial zone, but if it's in a rural zone somewhere, we might find that appropriate. We're not there yet.
But most Prince George's residents say they don't want data centers in the county at all, and they'll keep fighting to make sure that doesn't happen. In Landover, I'm Anaya Falcon, CTV News.
The data task force will end in November so that policy recommendations can be sent over to the county government for review. Another qualified data center task force meeting will be held this Wednesday at 11 a.m. at the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission Largo headquarters.
It's day 27 of the government shutdown, and it doesn't appear the government will reopen anytime soon. The government shutdown is on track to be the longest in history. President Donald Trump is on a trade trip to Asia, plus the U.S. House has not been in session for a month. Democrats and Republicans are still at a standstill when it comes to the short-term spending bill. Democrats are continuing to call for the extension of health care subsidies, while Republicans believe that issue can be addressed at a later time.
And a Prince George's County teacher is walking free after being acquitted on several counts of sexual abuse against a minor. Former Parkdale High School teacher Amir Johnson was accused of having sexual encounters with a student earlier this year. A jury found him not guilty on most charges, but couldn't reach a decision on one count, leading to a mistrial. State's Attorney Tara Jackson says her office will review whether to pursue that charge again. Johnson, a Bowie resident, was released on his own recognizance following the verdict. Officials say no further details will be shared because of the sensitive nature of the case. And $6 million taxpayer dollars are headed to a Baltimore nonprofit that hasn't filed a single tax return in more than 2 years. Governor Wes Moore championed the award to We Our Us, a group tied to Baltimore's violence reduction strategy. But watchdogs say the nonprofit's last public filing showed just a few $100,000 in revenue, no paid staff, and vague spending records. The state insists the group hasn't received any funds yet and will face oversight. Still, experts call it a major accountability gap, questioning how a small outfit with not current status landed millions in taxpayer money.
A group that has criticized Maryland Governor Wes Moore has filed as a political action committee. The NoMore.org group has come under fire for some other social media posts targeted at the Democratic governor. Some Democratic leaders have called the group shadowy. Back in August, NoMore.org filed a statement of organization with the Federal Election Commission for the No More Political Action Committee.
And thousands of people came together on Saturday to clean up the county. This was part of County Executive Aisha Braveboy's first major event under Project Elevate, Clean and Green Elevate the Scene. Students, principals, teachers, and community members came out to beautify International High School at Largo. Residents, businesses, and community partners were invited by the county and the Department of Public Works and Transportation to beautify other areas across Prince George's. The county executive's aim is to strengthen community pride, enhance the county's aesthetics, and improve service delivery.
It's necessary because Prince George's County must be attractive. We must be as attractive as the people who live in the county, and it means something to our property values, to attracting investments and visitors here to the county.
I think there's a greater sense of energy and engagement that we are seeing in terms of folks participating and elevating the county. So, you know, even though we've had programs like this before, I think this is one that really has more energy and more engagement than we've had in the past.
And students that participated were able to receive community service credits. All right, you're watching CTV News. I'm Michaela Newton.
And I'm Jonathan Hunter. Still to come, with federal workers being laid off left and right, education may be the way to go.
After the break, I sat down with one woman trying her hand in becoming an educator. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Mom, did you really need to buy 2 can openers for our emergency kit?
I can't help it. They're 2 for 1. What's this?
We need to keep our family communication plan safe in case of an emergency.
Thanks, Tita.
Oh, man. Well, good thing we kept all the lights we used for the rally.
I've got the battery pack. Keep my phone powered so we don't miss any alerts.
What about game night?
Sounds good.
Oh, we have to get to Mom and Dad's and get them somewhere safe. I've got the evacuation route loaded on my phone.
I've got an updated list of Dad's meds.
And I've got just what we need to get them to take this seriously.
If that doesn't convince them that we thought this through, I don't know what would.
Start a conversation with your family and plan together for emergencies.
Starting on November 1st, no federal food aid will be going out, leaving millions of families in limbo. The U.S. Department of Agriculture posted a notice on their website. It reads in part, quote, "The well has run dry. There will be no benefits issued on November 1st. This comes after the Trump administration said it would not tap nearly $5 billion in contingency funds to keep money flowing through the SNAP program. The program helps about 1 in 8 Americans buy groceries. The Bowie Food Pantry is seeing a rise in demand with the government shutdown. On Friday, Governor Wes Moore was able to tour the facility and see the problem firsthand. Before the shutdown, the pantry would have about 500 visits a month. Now they're averaging 600. Pantry officials say they are opening up their food pantry to furloughed federal workers. As long as they show a letter and live in Prince George's County, they can use the pantry.
Everybody's hungry. You know, food prices are high, and we want to make sure everybody has some food. We can't provide all the food they need, though. They need to be able to utilize other pantries, and we refer them to other pantries in the county, sites that they can go and get food as well. What we give them provides several meals and beyond, maybe up to a week's worth for a family of 4.
Like, this is what humanity looks like, and this is what it means to have a beloved community. A God-fearing and a God-honoring community. And the fact that the majority of people that we're seeing around here, these are volunteers.
The pantry relies heavily on donations from the community. They're open on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Well, across Maryland, there's a growing effort to get federal workers into the classroom, helping to ease the state's teacher shortage. One woman decided to take that leap, leaving her federal job behind to follow a new calling. Now she's back in school at the University of Maryland, working toward her master's in education. Rachel Baer worked for the USDA Forest Service for about 4.5 years.
It was an amazing place to work. The Forest Service has a very, very important mission to help conserve and protect the nation's forests and national grasslands.
But she wanted a change.
With this transition, the most recent presidential transition, it seemed like for me, the time was right to move on to a new career.
With a national teacher shortage and federal government layoffs, there is a push from the state to get more teachers into classrooms.
I think teaching is one of the most rewarding and necessary and vital careers that somebody can pursue. Teaching the next generation how to be informed, critical thinkers, problem solvers that can be assets to their community and be productive parts of their community and be leaders in their communities. I don't think there's any higher calling that anybody can have.
She says her days are busy and filled with training, but the journey to getting her master's in education through the MCERT program at the University of Maryland is worth it.
I kind of oscillate between wanting to teach elementary ed, which is what my degree will certify me in, is elementary education, because I really enjoy working with the younger students. But as my background is more in environmental and science education, part of me is also intrigued by potentially teaching middle school 6th grade science. I would encourage anybody that wants to do good in the world to become a teacher.
And Rachel is expected to graduate with her master's degree this May.
The state of Maryland will have to fork over nearly $500,000 to settle 2 workplace discrimination lawsuits against the University of Maryland. According to the Baltimore Sun, the 2 lawsuits involve 2 former employees who are both black men and worked at the university's Center for Advanced Study of Language. The suit alleges the plaintiffs faced racial bias and derogatory behavior by their supervisor. The settlement was approved by the Maryland Board of Public Works last week. A report shows that about $67,000 will go on to the plaintiffs, while the rest of the funds will go to the lawyers representing them.
Well, more than 40 Prince George's County schools are dealing with an outbreak of hand, foot, and mouth disease. The district says cases have been reported across the system since last week, and the viral illness is most common in young children, but doctors say anyone can catch it. Early symptoms look a lot like a cold, fever, sore throat, poor appetite, before painful mouth sores and red rash can develop on the hands and feet. Now, health officials say prevention is key. wash hands often, disinfect toys and surfaces, and keep kids home if they're sick. School leaders urge families to contact a healthcare provider if they suspect infection. And Montgomery County's birth rate numbers are impacting the school district's enrollment. According to reports, Montgomery County has seen a drop in its birth rate numbers. In 2014, there were more than 13,000 births in the county. However, in 2023, Montgomery County recorded less than 11,000 births. Although MCPS currently has more than 156,000 students, school officials anticipate losing more than 6,000 students in the coming years due to the decline in the county's birth rate.
A driver crashed their black SUV into the side of a building Friday afternoon. The incident occurred in the 10,800 block of Lanham-Severn Road. According to the county fire and EMS department, one person was inside the car and was able to get out of the SUV before firefighters arrived. The building was evacuated and no one went to the hospital. And officials are assessing the building for any risk of collapsing to judge its safety. Still to come on CTV News.
Are smokers taking a toll on your commute? Well, a new analysis is looking at marijuana use on Maryland roads.
We have that story and more after the break.
Good job, buddy. Hey, buddy. It's time. Gotta go. Listen, I could be there in 15 minutes. Yep, see you soon. All right, you know the drill. Your brother could always do it. That's what I thought.
I just wanted to stop.
Today, seniors in Upper Marlboro were able to get their shoes repaired at the Cameron Grove Retirement Community. The purpose of the event was for people to have their shoes restored so they could get back to exercising. Several seniors stopped by this afternoon to have their shoes professionally restored. We spoke to one man who dropped off his blue tennis shoes and was excited to finally get them fixed. Councilman Calvin Hawkins partnered with the Prince George's County Development Corporation to make the event happen.
The walk, that's the most important thing for seniors to do, a walking at least 2 or 3 times a week, at least that. So the tennis shoes help me quite a bit.
They can walk again, exercise again, and we just want them to know we hear them, we feel them, and working with the other elected officials throughout the county, they're doing things for seniors. We all are doing something. This is one of the ways I believe I could be most effective in my work with seniors.
So this particular event is quite unique. When I got the call about it, I was quite surprised. I thought, tennis shoe refurbishment? But as you can see, there's a big demand for it. It's a beautiful day.
And Hawkins says the goal is to bring this shoe restoration event to every district in the county.
Lighting up behind the wheel is happening more often on Maryland roads since marijuana was legalized. A new state study finds cannabis use among drivers has more than doubled since 2023, jumping from 18 to 39%. But only 6 in 10 surveyed believe driving high is dangerous. Police say DUI arrests and crash deaths haven't spiked, but experts warn the risk is real. They point to stronger strands of marijuana and no reliable roadside tests for THC. Transportation officials are ramping up awareness campaigns and enforcement patrols, reminding drivers smoking in cars is still illegal.
Maryland saw its higher number of heat-related deaths in over a decade this past summer. Between late April and early October, 34 people died from heat-related causes, making it the second highest number of deaths recorded since 2012. According to the Maryland Health Department, 71% of people were 65 or older and 2 were under the age of 18. There was a total of more than 1,600 emergency room and urgent care visits, with 18 to 44-year-olds having 688 visits. Most of the deaths and visits increased during a heat wave between late June and early July.
Well, some Maryland farmers are seeing the benefits of ecological practices. Hedge Apple Cattle Farm in Frederick County uses a practice commonly called rotational grazing, which moves its herds from pasture to pasture. This practice allows the farm to continue to cattle graze through January, which saves the business about $200 a day. Another benefit to this practice is that it reduces the amount of runoff that gets into bodies of water like the Chesapeake Bay.
A popular grocery store chain is set to close several of its Maryland locations. Shoppers will close the door to 4 of its grocery stores, and 3 of them are right here in Prince George's County. The College Park, Laurel, and Capitol Heights stores are expected to close early November. Here at the College Park store, this location will shut down on November 8th. Many customers say they are saddened to see this grocery store leave their community.
I've been a shopper for years at Shoppers, and I know another location in New Carrollton has closed as well, but sorry to see them go.
I went to get some vegetables. It's completely cleaned out and lights dimmed, and now you can't get down the aisles anymore. There's just a couple of aisles that they've shoved everything to 2 aisles. So I don't know what they're going to sell by the 8th.
I was really saddened about it because, I mean, I love Shoppers. Everything was nice. The store was clean. The personnel was great. So, I mean, I'm really going to miss it.
Many shoppers we spoke to say they will now have to travel to the nearby Giant in Silver Spring. The other shoppers that is closing is in Germantown.
The USDA is recalling another food item. LSI Incorporation is recalling more than 2,277,000 pounds of ready-to-eat Korean barbecue pork jerky product. The jerky is being recalled because it may be contaminated with pieces of metal. No confirmed injuries have been reported, and anyone with packages of the jerky should throw it away or return it to the store of purchase for a refund. All right, don't move. Simon Buggs is back with the Monday Sports page.
That's right, and I hear he's gearing up to watch the Commanders take on Kansas City. What's going on, Simon?
Hey guys, I've got a packed sports page for you today. News from football, soccer, and baseball all coming your way. Stay right there.
Having low income can mean making tough choices. Choosing between paying for food or medication or a place to live is a reality for many people. Do you know someone who could use some extra help? Find out about the Supplemental Security Income Program, SSI. You could receive monthly SSI payments if your income and financial resources are low and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability or who is blind. SSI is money you can use to help pay for basic needs, like putting food on the table, keeping the lights on, paying the rent. It can mean new shoes for growing feet or help with medical needs. Call 1-800-772-1213 or visit ssa.gov/SSI to schedule an appointment or start to apply today. That's ssa.gov/SSI. Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Okay, everybody, it's time for your Monday sports page. And since it's Monday, y'all know I have some Friday Night Lights highlights for you today. And the Laurel High School Spartans look to defend home turf against Eleanor Roosevelt. In the beginning of the first quarter, the Raiders offense got off to a good start, as plays from the team like Roosevelt's QB showing off his legs on the quarterback keeper helped the team score their first touchdown of the night to go up 7-0 on the Spartans. Laurel's offense took the field soon after and gave the ball right back to the Raiders, after this hit by the defense jarred the ball loose and was recovered by the white and black. But the Raiders' offensive drive came to an end as the Spartans' defense got them off the field. Now, y'all are not going to believe this, but Laurel's offense had another turnover as Spartans QB Demetrius Custis threw this pick to Dante Whitaker. And now Roosevelt's offense had another shot to extend the lead. But plays like this nice sack from linebacker Andre Stokes kept the score at 7-0 in favor of Roosevelt going into the second quarter. And in the second quarter, even though Laurel put up a goose egg, their defense kept the Raiders' offense at bay and the score stayed at 7-0 in favor of the Raiders going into the half. But in the third quarter, Roosevelt's offense started to click again as the team's signal caller in Whitaker connected on this long pass to give the team their second touchdown of the night. And Roosevelt just kept on running up the score after that as they went back to Greenbelt with the dub, winning the matchup 35-0. And there was more football action as Suitland lost to Wise 45-6. Frederick Douglass blew out Fairmont Heights 34-6. And finally, Parkdale fell to Bowie in a close game 12-6. There was also some high school girls playoff soccer action as well as Oxon Hill got shut out by Great Mills 2-0. Fairmont Heights got the win against Gwynn Park 3-2. And lastly, CMIT North shut out College Park Academy 5-0. Meanwhile, it was no secret that the Baltimore Orioles took a huge step back in 2025. The Orange and Black finished the season at 75-87 and missed out on the postseason for the first time since 2022. So the team made a huge change to their coaching staff, hiring former Cleveland Guardians associate manager Craig Albernaz to be the team skipper. Cleveland was one of the American League's top teams when Albernaz was on their staff, winning the Central Division each of the past 2 seasons and even reaching the AL Championship Series in 2024. Hopefully, Albernaz can turn the Birds around and get them back to the postseason in 2026. In other news, the Washington Commanders will return to action against the Kansas City Chiefs tonight for a primetime matchup. And there'll be some big changes tonight as some players on the defensive side of the ball will receive more playing time, one of them being linebacker Kane Medrano. Medrano was Washington's 6th-round pick in this year's draft, and the UCLA product touched on what it means to him for the coaching staff to have the confidence in him to help turn this defense around.
It makes me feel excited, happy, but it also shows me that they have confidence in my game and what I can do on the field, and that just gives me all the more confidence that I need. So I'm using that confidence as fuel, and I'm also, trying to stay right at like a low or mid-level type of mindset, just so I don't get too high, too low, and I'm just going to stay right there and let my game be shown.
Kickoff is at 8:15, and that wraps up your Monday sports page. Simon Bugs, CTV Sports.
All right, thanks, Simon. Let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight will be partly cloudy out with winds averaging 8 miles per hour. Tomorrow, it'll be partly sunny with a high of 57, but grab your umbrellas. We have some rain heading our way. Wednesday, expect light showers. We'll have a high of 57. Thursday, we have an 80% chance of rain. We'll have a high of 62 and a low of 47.
And for our community calendar this Thursday, there will be a free special screening of the Tower Road bus at the Bowie Center for the Performing Arts. The film chronicles how integrating the Prince George's County schools through forced busing impacted the lives of students, including Dotson Burns Jr., who went on to be the first black principal of a majority white school in the county. This screening begins at 7 p.m. For more information, you can contact 301-805-6880.
All right, well, don't have time to catch up on our top stories and sports on television? Well, you can find them on our YouTube page or follow us on all social media platforms.
Have a story idea? You can reach out to our CTV News tip line by giving us a call at 301-386-4085 or sending an email to ctvnews@pgctv.org.
As always, we look forward to hearing from you. All right, that's all the time we have for CTV News. Thanks so much for joining us.
We're going to see you again tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone.
To a child battling a critical illness, a wish can feel like a dream. But with your help, it isn't out of reach. Wishes are an important part of medical treatment. A chance for kids to see themselves stronger, braver. To see that the impossible is possible. Wishes can give kids the strength to fight to get better, to grow up. Where there's a wish,